Welcome back, guys. Mr. Rawlings here. I've been quite ill this week. Well, not really ill, but I've had bad throat and I've had no voice, and it's only just coming back now, so apologies, there's not been a video until now. I thought I'd just do a little bit of news that we've had this week. First of all, Marvel released some official concept art for Doctor Strange. Let me take a look at some of that. For me, it's the movie, or at least the Marvel or superhero movie that I'm looking forward to the most. I think it's out in November of this year. It's just a great character. You know, Marvel have got different types of ways people have their powers, haven't they? So they've got things like, you know, science or technology from other planets and that kind of stuff. They've got mutations. So they've got mutants or people who are mutates because they've had experiments done to them to give them their powers. Also, you've got mysticism, so mystic and magic type of powers, and that's Doctor Strange, and I find that quite fun. So yeah, we've got these concept art. I really like Benedict personally. Well, I really like him as Sherlock anyway. I've not actually really watched anything else that he's done, except for obviously The Hobbit, but he's Smaug, so it doesn't really count. So I'll be interested to see him play it, definitely. I mean, he looks really smart as it, to be honest. And so yeah, that's going to be coming out. If you haven't already seen it, I do recommend taking a look at the 2007 animated movie for Doctor Strange. It's pretty good, so take a look at that. Also this week we've seen that we've now got a price release for the Oculus Rift, and it's really quite affordable. So yeah, a little bit disappointing. The price is kind of ridiculous, to be honest. They say they're not making a profit on the headsets, and perhaps that's true, but it's completely different to their original estimations of what it would cost, and it's not something I think the average Joe can afford. I can't afford it. I mean, I'd love to have one, but I can't afford it, and I think they kind of messed up a little bit. With all the criticism about the price, the co-founder came out and said that the price was obscenely cheap. No, mate. Well, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe he's got a point about tech and VR tech. Maybe it is cheap in that respect. But that's a shit thing to say. It's a terrible excuse, really. The point was they were funded on Kickstarter because they were trying to make a mass marketable, consumable product for VR experience. Not something which is the same price as or cheap for other VR tech. That's not the point. We're not talking about the 80s. This is new technology. We've come a long way in that kind of regard. And they should now be able to give us VR, a good VR, for cheap in a mass market. And if it really isn't possible to make it cheaper than that, they must have known that from the start. That's like saying to someone, you know, oh, come here, come look at my store, everything's free, and then when they get in there, everything's priced up. You shouldn't use a false claim to get interest. It's not right. Also, the prices seem to wildly change depending on where you are. I think in Australia it was actually cheaper than US, but for example here in UK, it's going to be the equivalent of $250 more for me to buy it. That makes not much sense, and apparently it's because of shipping costs and taxes and other types of costs like that, which is fair enough, but why didn't they do some market research? Today, with the advent of technology and the way things work, everything now is a global market. Unless you're saying the product's only coming out in one country for some reason, you know, everything is a global market. If you're making technology and you're saying it's open to other countries, then you've entered into a global market. And as such, the price should reflect that and be equivalent to who you're selling it to. And it's quite simple. All you do is some market research to find out predicted sales for a particular region, and then you find out how much it costs in that particular region to release it there or to ship it there, or what other costs there are for having technology there, which seems a bit strange. You come to an average price per unit, which still makes a profit, or in this case a break even, because apparently they're not making any money on the product, as it were. And then you stick that as your baseline, and you sell it as an equivalent. Even base it on the average salary of that area, or the average cost of goods in that area, and you sell it for a price where you don't lose money, but it's equal and fair to everyone. I'll say it again, it's a global market. Now incidentally, we've just heard rumours about the price for Sony's VR headset. I think it was on Amazon, which often is, they put the product there and someone saw it had a price. And it's actually slightly more expensive than the Oculus Rift. The difference though is that the Sony VR headset is obviously for the Sony PS4, which costs a lot less than the PC you'd need to be able to run the Oculus Rift software. If you're talking about how much money it costs to have a VR experience for over 100 games, then the Sony option still looks to be far cheaper, the fact that they're already in that type of market and can quite easily get all their little minions to do their bidding across the globe and get a lot of sales, it to me means the Oculus Rift guys are fucked up. They should have undercut Sony by a lot to get their units sold, talk with developers more to be able to get, you know, their software or whatever it is where they make their money, and get all their units out way before Sony. But the fact that you're technically going to be able to get a VR experience for cheaper by going with the bigger brand of Sony just shows that the Kickstarter funding and this idea they had has not really worked, in my opinion. I mean, I could be completely wrong. It might be that it's amazing. They might give out a load of free units to YouTubers, you know, famous ones. They'll use it and people will somehow find money to pay for it rather than, you know, spending it on food or whatever, and they might make some money out of it. But at the moment it's disappointing on both fronts, from both Oculus Rift guys and Sony, because it doesn't look like you can have a cheap VR unit. It's just not possible. And finally, after that rant, good news if you're a fan of Netflix's depiction of Daredevil. Season 2 is coming, I think it's March 18th. If you haven't watched the first season, or don't care, then maybe you shouldn't watch this, but I'm going to watch the trailer quick. I've not seen it. This is the trailer for Season 2. Okay, play! Marvel.
I can't see! I can't see!
Oh shit, he's blind.
I hear things.
You know what they call stuff like that? Gifts.
Lawyer by day, vigilante by night. How does that work?
Sometimes you have to do things outside the law.
I don't see the city anymore. All that I see are its dark corners.
It's just a lot of pictures.
Needs to die before it can be reborn.
You believe in the devil, Father?
Another man's evil does not make you good.
You lied to me, Matt, since the day we met.
I have to be the man this city needs.
I respect your conviction. The lone man thinks he can make a difference.
I'm just trying to make my city a better place.
That's Punisher. Ah, the Punisher logo, look.
Father, why do I still feel guilty?
Guilt can be a good thing. It's a soul's call to action. The indication that your work is not yet finished.
Oh dear, that's a lot of money to fix those windows. Yeah, 18th of March, worldwide. Season 2. Well, that was interesting. It wasn't, I mean, that wasn't really a trailer, was it really? There was no actual scenes, it was just some pictures. But, you know, I'm hoping it's got that same gritty, dark feeling where somehow you feel that what you're seeing is believable. Looks like, well, we already knew, if you'd read about it, that Punisher is going to be in there. Very interested to see the Punisher. I think he's a great character. I hope that he is badass. So whilst you're waiting for Daredevil Season 2, you may well want to watch Jessica Jones if you've not already. Apart from the needless sex scenes that you see quite quickly and throughout, which doesn't serve any purpose really. I mean, I actually wanted to watch Netflix for once. It wasn't Netflix and chill, so I don't really see why it has to be loads of sex in there, which hasn't any purpose. Not to say there's anything wrong with sex, you know, but in a TV program, I'm like, just skip to the action. I don't want to see sex, I don't want to see love, I want to see people getting killed, things getting stolen, action mayhem, hero kicking ass. That's what I want to see. It just doesn't seem to be possible to have anything with a female lead where you're supposed to be respecting her as a female lead and as a strong character, when A, you always see her sat on the toilet, B, at some point you'll see her walking around in her underwear, and C, you almost always see her getting boned by someone she's just met. Why? Like I say, nothing wrong with Netflix and chill, but sometimes Netflix just stick to Netflix, you know? But it is a really good show, so I would check it out if I were you, especially whilst waiting for Daredevil 2, or Season 2, it's not a movie, 2, with Ben Affleck. That'd be quite rubbish. Well, if you like that, please click like, click subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, insert witty goodbye.
Guys, if you're still here, you're awesome!
But as you are still here, why not check out some of my other videos? Oh, and if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Laters, haters.